I'm here with another terrifying haunted house story, one that will make you question the very definition of fear. So get ready, because tonight we're not just telling a story, we're opening a door to the unknown. Let's begin. It all began with a letter. Daniel, a young writer seeking inspiration, stumbled upon an old, worn envelope tucked away in the attic of his recently inherited home. The letter, penned in faded ink, spoke of a place known only as the house at Maple Street, a location that sent chills down Daniel's spine. Curiosity and a thirst for the unknown compelled him to seek out this enigmatic residence. As twilight painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, Daniel found himself standing before a house that seemed to have been plucked straight from a nightmare. Its paint peeled away like scabs, revealing the rotting wood beneath. Ivy, like grasping claws, scaled the walls, and the windows gaped like empty sockets. A palpable sense of dread pressed down on him, yet he couldn't bring himself to turn back. He pushed open the creaking gate and walked up to the house. The porch swing swayed gently, though no one was there. The bell, when he rang it, emitted a discordant clang, as if in protest. The doorknob, cold and damp, yielded to his touch, and he stepped inside. The interior was a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. Each step he took echoed ominously, amplifying his heartbeat. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of decay and whispers of forgotten sorrow. Portraits adorned the walls, their subjects leering at him with eyes that seemed to follow his every move. In the corner, a grandfather clock stood frozen at midnight, its pendulum still. A single spiderweb draped across the face of it, a macabre clock marking the passage of time in this house of horrors. Then he heard it, a sound that made the blood freeze in his veins. A whisper, soft and mournful, echoing through the cavernous space. It spoke of despair, of lives cut short, of tragedies that unfolded within these four walls. And as the whisper faded, a sob racked his body. He wasn't alone. His camera, lying on a table, suddenly flashed, capturing an image that made his blood run cold. In the photo, a translucent figure stood bathed in ethereal light, its eyes hollow, its expression one of profound sadness. Daniel stood frozen, his gaze locked on the image in his hand. He could feel the despair emanating from the photograph, resonating with the sorrow that seemed to permeate the very essence of the house. In the midst of his terror, Daniel noticed a book lying open on a nearby piano. He cautiously approached it, drawn to it as if by an invisible force. As he turned the brittle pages, he discovered a journal chronicling the tragic history of the house. Each entry was a nail hammered into the coffin of his sanity, sealing his fate within these haunted walls. He learned of a family who had lived here, their lives brimming with joy, until a sudden and inexplicable tragedy struck. A fire, swift and merciless, had engulfed the house, leaving behind only ashes and unanswered questions. And then there were the whispers, the murmurs that spoke of dark secrets buried within the foundations of the house. Secrets that clawed at the edges of his perception, whispering tales of betrayal, madness, and murder. But amidst the horror there was a glimmer of hope. An entry mentioned a hidden room, a sanctuary where peace supposedly resided. Hope surged through him. If he could find this place, maybe he would discover the truth behind the whispers, the secrets that bound him to this cursed house. Fueled by determination, he searched every nook and cranny, desperate to uncover the mystery. Then behind a bookshelf, he found it, a secret passage concealed by age and neglect. With trembling hands, he pushed aside the ancient wood, revealing a staircase shrouded in darkness. As he descended, the air grew colder, the oppressive atmosphere replaced by an icy chill that seeped into his bones. At the bottom, he found himself in a subterranean labyrinth, its damp walls exuding an otherworldly chill. Torches flickered, casting grotesque shadows that danced and twisted, mocking his fear. In the distance, he heard chains dragging metal moans that echoed through the subterranean space. His heart pounded against his ribs, threatening to burst from his chest. Was this the source of the haunting sounds that plagued his dreams? Then he saw her, a spectre of sorrow, standing at the end of the tunnel. Her eyes, pools of endless despair, stared vacantly ahead. As she turned, he saw the wounds etched into her ethereal form, a testament to suffering beyond comprehension. He recognized her from the photograph. This was the spirit that had haunted him since his arrival. She glided closer, her presence growing heavier, her sorrow seeping into his soul. In that moment, he understood her torment. She was bound to this place, unable to find peace because of the darkness that clung to the house like a shroud. But why? What was it about this house that nurtured such despair? He had come seeking answers, but it seemed fate had a different plan. The ground trembled beneath his feet, the walls groaned, and the whispers intensified. They coalesced into a cacophony, swirling around him, tearing at his sanity. Then the darkness consumed him. When Daniel awoke, he found himself outside the house, the first rays of dawn painting the sky in hues of rose and gold. The house looked different now, its menacing facade softened by the morning light. But the peace he had hoped for eluded him, for in his mind he relived the horrors he had witnessed, the ghostly apparitions, the anguished whispers, the unending darkness. He realized he hadn't merely visited a haunted house. He had peered into the abyss of human suffering, had brushed against the veil that separates our world from the next. And as he walked away, the house receded into the mist, taking with it the secrets that had driven him to its doorstep. Back in the familiar surroundings of his own home, Daniel tried to piece together the fragments of his experience. The events at the house loomed large in his thoughts, their chilling echoes reverberating through his days. Sleep evaded him, replaced by haunting dreams of shadowy figures and disembodied whispers. His once vibrant world seemed drained of color, the faces of loved ones taking on a ghostly pallor. He was trapped in a waking nightmare, unable to shake off the feeling that he was being watched, judged by unseen eyes. Then the photos surfaced, appearing in the dark room of his mind. Faces that stared back at him with eyes filled with unspeakable sorrow. In one picture, he saw the ghostly figure from the secret room, her sorrowful gaze boring into his soul. In another, the spectre of a man with a crazed look in his eye brandished a weapon that seemed to gleam with an otherworldly glow. Daniel recoiled in horror. He had unwittingly captured images of a past that refused to stay buried, a past filled with anguish and despair. Yet amidst the terror, a spark of resolve ignited within him. He would find answers. He would unravel the tangled threads of the house's history and liberate its tormented souls from their eternal suffering. Fueled by this newfound purpose, he delved into historical records, searching for clues that could shed light on the house's shrouded past. He pored over aged documents, each page offering a glimpse into a bygone era. He uncovered the name of the family who had resided there, their lives seemingly perfect, until disaster struck. A fire, it said, had swept through the house, leaving behind a trail of heartache and unanswered questions. But the truth, Daniel sensed, lay dormant beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed. Then he found it, a faded newspaper clipping that hinted at a darker reality. The fire, it seemed, had been no accident. Jealousy, greed, and deceit had played their sinister roles, weaving a tapestry of intrigue and malice. As he read, the pieces of the puzzle began to fit together, forming a chilling portrait of a family torn apart by envy. Armed with this knowledge, Daniel returned to the house at Maple Street. He was no longer a naive seeker of thrills. He was a detective on the brink of exposing the hidden truths that had haunted this place for years. He stood before the house, its decaying grandeur a testament to the lives that had been touched by tragedy. He entered, not with the trepidation of fear, but with the steely resolve of determination. Each footstep echoed his purpose. Each creaking floorboard whispered tales of the past. And as he ventured deeper into the house, he felt a strange sense of connection to those who had suffered within its walls. He could almost hear their whispers, their pleas for justice, their longing for peace. In the secret room, he found more clues, more pieces of the puzzle that had ensnared the family within. A diary chronicled the life of the woman whose spirit he had encountered, revealing her hopes, her dreams, and ultimately, her demise. With each entry, the portrait of a loving wife and mother was tarnished, replaced by one of fear and impending doom. The diary spoke of a husband driven by dark desires, of betrayal, of a love turned toxic. It was a story of human darkness, a reminder that evil could lurk even in the most seemingly idyllic of lives. As Daniel absorbed these revelations, he felt a surge of empathy for the tormented souls that resided within the house. Their pain, their fear, their anguish, it all culminated in this secret room, this hidden sanctuary where secrets festered and spirits lingered. Driven by his newfound understanding, Daniel sought to right the wrongs of the past. He worked tirelessly, determined to expose the truth and lay the ghosts of Maple Street to rest. With each passing day, he felt the presence of the family grow lighter, their whispers fading into whispers. And then one day the change was palpable. The air in the house seemed to lighten, the oppressive gloom lifting to reveal glimpses of warmth and joy. The spirits, it seemed, were finding solace in the unraveling of their tragic tale. When the final article was published, it sent shockwaves through the community. The secrets of the house, once buried under layers of deceit, were now laid bare for all to see. Justice, in a way, had been served. And as the town grappled with the revelations, the house at Maple Street stood as a beacon of remembrance, a monument to the enduring strength of the human spirit. In the aftermath, the house underwent a transformation. It was no longer a vessel of sorrow, but a keeper of memories. The community rallied, restoring the house to its former glory, each brushstroke and every repaired shingle a testament to the indomitable spirit of hope. The garden, once overgrown and neglected, bloomed anew, its flowers a vibrant tapestry of remembrance. And in the heart of the garden a memorial stood, a tribute to the family whose story had unfolded within those hallowed walls. The house at Maple Street became a symbol of resilience, a place where sorrow had been conquered by the light of truth. It stood as a beacon, reminding all who saw it that even in the darkest of corners, hope had the power to bloom. The story of the house serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of human happiness and the enduring power of the human spirit. It is a tale that continues to echo, urging us to confront the shadows of our past and find solace in the light of truth.